Hey everyone, let's just dive right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're taking a super close, comprehensive look at the Nubia Neo 5 Max. We're going to evaluate exactly how this device is aiming to tackle some of the biggest frustrations we all face in the mobile hardware space. Honestly, we really want to see if this smartphone can legitimately replace a much bulkier, way more expensive gaming setup. So if you've ever felt held back by standard mobile gaming, stick around because we're going to break down all the specs and features to see what it's truly capable of. To really get a handle on what this beast is doing, we're breaking our analysis down into 5 quick chapters: the ultimate gaming display, raw power and performance, staying cool under pressure, next-level gaming controls, and design built for winners.
All right, let's kick things off with Chapter 1, the ultimate gaming display.
You know that feeling of inherently compromising on visual real estate when you aren't playing on a huge monitor? Well, this completely bridges the gap between a massive PC rig and a handheld. It scales that desktop-level immersion directly into the palm of your hands, proving that you absolutely do not have to sacrifice that wide immersive field of view just because you stepped away from your desk.
And we all know the struggle with pixelated, blurry graphics when a phone's processor starts choking, right? Well, looking at this direct comparison, the Nubia totally solves that issue. It renders enemies and environments with razor-sharp anti-aliasing. The lines on armor are crisp, the textures hold up flawlessly. Basically, a muddy display will literally never be the reason you miss a target again. Plus, when you pair that crystal clarity with a wider aspect ratio, you gain a massive tactical advantage. Because the display stretches farther horizontally, your peripheral vision in-game is significantly expanded. You can easily spot enemies, like this one peeking over a wall, way before they even have a chance to spot you on a standard, narrow smartphone screen. It's a real game changer.
Moving right along to Chapter 2, raw power and performance.
Of course, all those pretty pixels don't mean a thing if the game stutters the second the action gets heavy. So let's talk about the engine, the MediaTek Dimensity 7100 chipset. It's a highly complex piece of engineering built layer by layer to process massive, demanding 3D gaming environments without even breaking a sweat. It gives you the computational overhead you desperately need for top-tier gaming.
And the physical proof of that power is right here. Frame rate stability is absolutely crucial, right? Just look at that top line for the Nubia. It is pinned perfectly flat at exactly 90 frames per second. It totally eliminates the constant frame drops and jagged stuttering you see on the volatile bottom graph representing competing phones.
Actually, there's so much processing power left over that you can do seamless split-screen multitasking. You could literally be running a digital card game on one half of the screen and an active tower defense game on the other at the exact same time. Zero lag, no freezing, no memory dumping. It handles the whole shebang flawlessly.
Which naturally leads us to Chapter 3, staying cool under pressure.
To maintain that perfect 90 FPS without triggering the dreaded thermal throttling, the phone uses a superstructured 3-step thermal management process. First, it absorbs the heat immediately. Second, it dissipates it across multiple layers. And third, it uses active temperature control to pull that heat entirely away from the core processor and the edges where your hands rest.
And hey, this isn't just some software trick. In this physical teardown, you can see a massive, multi-layer cooling system that uses extensive vapor chambers and specialized cooling plates. They're stacked right behind the display and battery, acting like a giant heatsink that rapidly wicks heat away before it can bottleneck your performance.
The result of all that crazy hardware? Keeping the device at a frosty peak temperature of just 38.4 degrees Celsius. And yet, that's even during intense, graphics-heavy boss fights. So your phone stays incredibly comfortable to hold, and your processor never has to artificially slow down to prevent a meltdown.
All right, let's talk about how you actually play. Chapter 4, Next-Level Gaming Controls. This is where it gets really fun. We're finally moving past the limitations of mashing a flat glass touchscreen. The inclusion of dedicated physical shoulder triggers completely changes how you interact with mobile games. You get real, tactile, console-like feedback, letting you map buttons to fire or accelerate while keeping your thumbs entirely free for precise aiming.
Now, combine those physical triggers with an ergonomic dual-grip chassis, and your hands just naturally lock into a comfortable curved position. It distributes the weight perfectly. You can dive into extended space battles or marathon gaming sessions without dealing with that awful hand cramping you get from standard smartphones. They've even thought about aiming accuracy on a software level. There is a built-in UI crosshair overlay that persistently sits dead center on your screen. So whether you're quick-scoping or hip-firing in a frantic firefight, you always have a distinct center point. It is such a massive quality-of-life upgrade for competitive shooters.
And look, high-stakes matches mean sweaty fingers, right? Nothing is worse than a touchscreen ignoring your swipe because of a little moisture. To combat this, the display actually features advanced wet touch technology. It guarantees that the screen flawlessly registers your touch inputs, even with water pooling on the display. Your crucial actions are never lost in translation.
Finally, let's look at the overall aesthetic. Chapter 5, Design Built for Winners. You essentially get two distinct visual identities to choose from here. You've got this loud, aggressive gold styling, which proudly rocks the Dolby Atmos branding, or you can go for the stealthy, industrial, black and gray model, which has a much more subdued, tactical vibe. Both pack the exact same powerhouse internals, but cater to totally different styles.
Even just holding it horizontally from the back, it immediately screams premium gaming hardware. You can visibly see the exposed cooling system aesthetic sitting right there next to the triple camera layout. The whole design profile just looks incredibly fast and purpose-built. Oh, and I absolutely love this detail. They didn't ignore the accessories. You get this glowing, specialized charging cable that snaps securely into a side port. This ensures the physical cable stays totally out of your way while you play, perfectly maintaining that futuristic cyberpunk aesthetic while keeping you powered up.
So considering everything we've looked at today, the rock-solid 90 FPS, those ice-cold thermals, and the physical shoulder triggers, we really have to ask, has the Nubia Neo 5 Max just set the new benchmark? Does this definitively render your bulky PC rig obsolete for gaming on the go? It's a fascinating shift in the tech space for sure. I really hope this explainer gave you some clear, structured insight into what this device brings to the table. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next one.